There's a storm brewing in the world of reality television, and this time, it's threatening to shake the very foundation of one of TLC's most beloved couples. Amy Roloff and Chris Marek. The pair who proved that love can bloom after heartbreak, the couple who gave fans hope that happily ever after exists at any age. But now, whispers are turning into shouts across social media, with rumors that their marriage is over, that Chris has permanently left America, and that he's already found a new girlfriend. Is there any truth to these claims, or is the internet just doing what the internet does best, spreading misinformation? This is a story about love, trust, and the challenge of keeping a relationship alive when the whole world is watching. And trust us, the truth might surprise you. Welcome back to Reality Scoop. If you're a fan of Little People, Big World, you've probably seen the headlines floating around. Amy Roloff and Chris Marek officially divorce. Chris Marek permanently leaves America. Chris Marek got a new girlfriend. It's a whirlwind of drama that sounds like it could be the plot of a new reality TV spin-off, one that Amy and Chris definitely didn't sign up for. But in today's age of viral content and clickbait, we have to ask ourselves, is any of this actually true? Before you start planning your sympathy posts for Amy or speculating on who this mystery new girlfriend could be, let's take a deep dive into what's really going on. We're going to separate fact from fiction, look at the origins of these rumors, and examine what Amy and Chris's lives actually look like right now. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear picture of where things stand, and we promise the reality is very different from what the tabloids are selling. To understand why these rumors are so shocking, you need to understand the story of Amy and Chris. This isn't just another reality TV romance. This is a tale of second chances. We all watched Amy Roloff go through one of the most public divorces in reality TV history when she and Matt Roloff called it quits after nearly 28 years of marriage. Their split in 2015 was heartbreaking for fans who had watched them raise their 4 children on Little People, Big World since the show's debut in 2006. Amy was open about her pain, and fans really rallied around her. Then, in 2016, something unexpected happened. Amy met Chris Marek at a pool party. Now, Chris wasn't a celebrity. He was a real estate agent from Oregon, a photographer, a motorcycle enthusiast. He was someone completely outside of the reality TV bubble. And interestingly enough, he had never even heard of Little People, Big World before meeting Amy. That might have been a refreshing change for her. Chris later admitted that dating someone in the reality business was a big adjustment. He said, "It was definitely very different dating someone that is involved in the reality business, with all the cameras and people asking questions and getting personal." By December 2017, they were Facebook official. In 2019, Chris proposed to Amy and she was over the moon. She told People magazine, "I never in a million years thought I'd be getting married again, but I also hoped for it. Now that it's happening, I couldn't be happier or more excited." They tied the knot on August 28, 2021 at Roloff Farms. Yes, the same farm she once shared with her ex-husband Matt. That took a lot of courage. It was a symbol of reclaiming her narrative. So, when fans see headlines suggesting this love story has crumbled just a few years later, it hits hard. Let's get straight to the point. Have Amy Roloff and Chris Marek officially divorced? The simple answer is no. There is no public record, no official announcement, and no credible reporting confirming that Amy and Chris have divorced. The rumors appear to have originated, as many do these days, from questionable social media posts. A fan page on Facebook posted a photo alleging that Chris had a new wife. But when you look closely, there's no substance behind it. No credible media source has reported this. In fact, a close look at Amy's social media activity paints a completely different picture. As of July 2025, Amy's Instagram bio still listed her proudly as a wife. Additionally, in photos shared by her daughter-in-law Tori Roloff in early July 2025, Amy was seen wearing her wedding band. And there was Chris actually in the photos with the family. That doesn't look like a couple who has split up, does it? Now, we have to remember as viewers that these families are under constant scrutiny. Amy and Chris are on a reality show, so people feel entitled to know every detail of their lives. It's also important to remember Amy's history. Fans are protective of her because they saw her struggle through her divorce from Matt. So any slight shift, like a photo where they don't look happy enough or a period where they don't post about each other for a few days, can spark a wildfire of speculation. But speculation is all it is. There is absolutely no confirmed evidence that these two have split up, let alone divorced. The claim that they are officially divorced is completely unfounded. Now, let's tackle the second part of the rumor. Did Chris Marek permanently leave America? This is another claim that seems to have appeared out of thin air. There has been no reporting, no announcement, and no evidence to suggest that Chris has renounced his U.S. citizenship or permanently relocated to another country. This rumor is likely a classic game of telephone. Maybe someone heard that Chris and Amy enjoy traveling. We know they love motorcycle trips and even planned an ambitious journey to Alaska. Perhaps Chris traveled for work, or maybe they took a vacation. But someone misinterpreted that as leaving the country forever. It's a huge leap. It's also possible this rumor is tied to something else. The farm has been a source of tension. Matt recently announced his leaving the land to Amy when he dies. That's a huge deal. But there's no indication that Chris would leave the country over that. He's a real estate agent based in Oregon. His career and his life are tied to the U.S. He and Amy purchased a home together. The idea that he would just permanently pick up and leave is completely disconnected from the reality of his life. And finally, the third piece of the rumor mill, Chris Marek got a new girlfriend. This is likely the most salacious part of the rumor, and also the part with the least evidence. The claim appears to stem from the same Facebook post that sparked the breakup rumors. A photo was circulated showing Chris with an alleged new wife. But no credible media outlet has verified this, and there are no details about who this person is, when they supposedly met, or how long this alleged relationship has been going on. It's just a photo being shared in a fan group without any verification. Could Chris have female friends? Of course. Could he have been photographed with a family member or a business associate? Absolutely. But the internet has a way of jumping to conclusions. Without a name, a confirmation from the couple, or even a paparazzi photo, it's safe to say that the new girlfriend rumor is nothing more than gossip. It's also worth noting that if Chris had moved on with a new woman while still married to Amy, it would be huge news. Reality TV insiders and entertainment media would be all over it. The silence from credible outlets is deafening. So, if none of this is true, why do these rumors persist? It comes down to the nature of reality TV and the parasocial relationships we form with the people on our screens. We feel like we know Amy. We watched her raise her kids, navigate a divorce, find love again, and build a new life. We're invested in her happiness. When we see her happy with Chris, we root for them. But that investment also means we're hyperalert to any sign of trouble. There are a few specific factors at play here. First, there's Amy's history. She went through an incredibly public divorce. Fans remember the pain she endured. So, there's almost a collective anxiety. People don't want to see her hurt again. This leads them to scrutinize her relationship with Chris for any cracks. Second, there are their personalities. Chris is often perceived as more reserved, while Amy is more emotionally expressive. For some fans, that difference is interpreted as him being checked out or not as invested. But that's a classic misunderstanding of personality types. Just because someone isn't overly emotional on camera doesn't mean they don't care. Third, there is the age gap. Chris is a few years older than Amy, and some viewers question their compatibility. But honestly, in a world where age gaps are much larger, their few-year difference is hardly a scandal. And finally, there's the show itself. Their lives are documented for the world to see. That constant exposure creates pressure. Every argument is amplified, every mundane interaction is analyzed. It's enough to make anyone want to retreat from the cameras. Let's look at the evidence we actually have. In July 2025, Amy Roloff posted photos that included Amy and her granddaughter. Amy was clearly wearing her wedding band. Chris was even in one of the photos. That's significant. If there was a pending divorce, it's unlikely Amy would be wearing her ring, especially in a photo that was going to be shared publicly. And if Chris had a new girlfriend, it's even more unlikely he'd be hanging out with his ex-wife's family for a photo op. Now, we also have to talk about the elephant in the room, the ongoing drama with Matt Roloff. Matt is currently engaged to Karen Chandler. That relationship has been a source of tension for years. Amy has had to work through her feelings about Karen, who was once the farm manager. Karen even acknowledged the awkwardness, saying she wanted Matt to leave the farm to Amy because she felt she came in later and didn't want to take away from what Amy and Matt built. The fact that the show is still covering the fallout from the farm sale and the relationships between all these people probably contributes to the rumors. People might be projecting the tension from Amy and Matt's past divorce onto her current marriage with Chris. It's no secret that Chris has had a hard time adjusting to life in the public eye. He's a private person, and suddenly being on a reality show and having your life picked apart by fans is a lot. There have been moments on the show where Chris has been caught gossiping about Amy with Matt. This didn't sit well with fans, who felt he wasn't respecting Amy's boundaries. Chris was criticized for talking behind Amy's back. It wasn't a huge dramatic scandal, but it showed that navigating this blended family isn't always easy. There are real challenges, and fans watch for those cracks. But we've also seen Chris defending Amy. He's put his foot down about topics he thinks are off-limits. He's tried to set boundaries with the production and with Matt. He's also faced criticism from fans who feel he's a gold digger or not right for Amy. However, Chris has spoken about how he followed his heart. He said his proposal didn't come from an aha moment, but was rather an easy, natural progression that worked out well. His friends have also vouched for him. One friend told a story about Chris saying, "It's just so easy. It's just such an easy relationship. That seems to be the key to their bond, it's easy. It's not filled with drama." Amy herself has admitted that this relationship is different. She said that with Matt they always had separate friends. But with Chris they are building a life together that's more integrated. She seems genuinely happy, and Chris appears to be a calming presence in her life. Let's clear up a few other misconceptions that often float around. Some fans believe Chris and Amy never actually lived together. This might come from an older interview where Amy mentioned they had their own spaces. But that was early in their relationship. They are very much married and cohabitating now. Another misconception is that Chris sold his home and this was proof of a breakup. In reality, Chris sold his home around the time they were getting engaged, which is a natural step when two people are merging their lives. Fans also point to the fact that Matt and Karen weren't invited to the wedding as proof of a rift. But Amy and Chris explained this was a comfort thing. They were trying to protect their kids and the guests. They didn't want the awkwardness. They actually had dinner with Matt and Karen after the wedding to show there were no hard feelings. So it wasn't about anger, it was about creating a peaceful environment on their big day. So, what does the future look like for Amy Roloff and Chris Marek? Based on everything we've seen, they appear to be stable. They are continuing to appear on Little People, Big World, which suggests they are committed to sharing their lives with viewers. Chris is continuing his real estate business in Oregon. They are making plans for the future. They've talked about traveling together. They've built a home together. The rumors of a split, a move abroad, or a new girlfriend are simply not reflected in their public actions. It's also important to acknowledge the pressure they are under. Amy is navigating a complex relationship with her ex-husband and his fiancé. She's dealing with the farm drama. She's also a grandmother and a businesswoman. Chris is navigating being a stepfather and a husband in the public eye. It's not always going to be smooth sailing. They will have disagreements. They might face challenges. But the evidence we have right now suggests they are facing those challenges together. So, before you buy into the next dramatic headline about Amy Roloff and Chris Marek, remember this: the internet is not always your friend. Rumors can spread like wildfire, but that doesn't make them true. In this case, the claims of an official divorce, Chris leaving the country, and a new girlfriend are all just that, rumors. Amy and Chris are still together. They are navigating the complex world of reality TV and family dynamics, but they appear to be doing it as a team. We'll be watching closely to see how things unfold. If there are any real developments, you know we'll bring them to you here at Reality Scoop. But for now, it looks like Amy and Chris are just fine. Let's take an even closer look at what Amy and Chris are actually showing us on social media. Because if there's one thing we've learned about Amy Roloff, it's that she's never been shy about sharing her life with fans. And lately, she's been sharing a lot. In April 2026, Amy took to Instagram with a reel that seemed almost perfectly timed to shut down the divorce rumors. She welcomed fans into a beautiful spring day, showing off a motorcycle ride with Chris and their friend Glenn. They headed out to a restaurant called Hangry Redhead, and Amy made sure to feature Chris in his full biker gear, smiling and chatting with her. She captioned it as their first motorcycle ride of the season, and the joy was palpable. Now, here's the thing. If your marriage was falling apart, would you be taking leisurely motorcycle rides with your husband and posting about it online? Probably not. And Amy didn't stop there. Just recently, she gave fans an even deeper look into their life together. She shared photos from a camping trip on the Clearwater River in northern Idaho. The pictures showed Chris trying to catch fish, the couple enjoying a bonfire, and Chris cooking for their group of friends. She even captured Chris chilling in the truck as they went looking for firewood. These aren't the photos of a woman going through a divorce. These are the pictures of a woman who is deeply content and enjoying life with her partner. If there was any doubt left about the state of Amy and Chris's marriage, their fourth wedding anniversary post should have put it to rest for good. In August 2025, Amy shared a beautiful post celebrating 4 years of marriage to Chris. She wrote, "Celebrating our 4-year wedding anniversary. This guy still surprises me. Beautiful flowers and the most thoughtful card and loving me. Chris, I loved you yesterday, love you today and will tomorrow. Thanks for hanging with me and going on this journey together." Think about those words for a second. I loved you yesterday, love you today and will tomorrow. That's not the language of a couple on the verge of splitting up. That's the language of a woman who is deeply in love and committed to her marriage. Fans flooded the comments with congratulations, though interestingly, some admitted they were confused because they had believed the divorce rumors. It just goes to show how powerful and misleading internet gossip can be. Now, we can't talk about Amy and Chris without addressing the elephant in the room. The dynamic with Matt Roloff and Karen Chandler. And this, more than anything else, might be what's fueling the rumors. As we mentioned earlier, Matt and Karen split in July 2025. That was huge news in the little people, big world. And when a high-profile couple breaks up, fans immediately start looking for patterns. They start asking, who's next? And Amy and Chris became an easy target. But here's the thing. The evidence shows that Amy and Chris are actually doing better than ever. In fact, the split between Matt and Karen seems to have brought the family closer together in some ways. Just weeks after Matt and Karen announced their split, Matt shared a rare photo on Instagram. In it, he was standing alongside Amy, Chris, and their granddaughter Lila. They were all celebrating Lila's win at the Dwarf Athletic events in San Diego. Matt's caption read, "Amy, Chris and I celebrating Lila's big sporting win." Fans were stunned. Here was a photo of Matt, Amy, and Chris all together, smiling and supporting their granddaughter. One fan commented, "Glad to see you and Amy come together to support the grandkids in action." Another wrote, "Love seeing Amy and Chris with you doing family things. You are all good people." This is incredibly significant. For years, the tension between Matt and Amy was palpable. But here they were, coming together for family. And Chris was right there with them. That doesn't sound like a man who is leaving the country or running off with a new girlfriend. That sounds like a man who is fully integrated into this family, supporting his wife and her grandchildren. Let's take a step back and really understand the pressure this couple is under. Amy and Chris aren't just a married couple. They are a reality TV couple. And that means every aspect of their relationship is documented, analyzed, and judged. As we've mentioned, Amy has a very emotional and expressive personality. She wears her heart on her sleeve. Chris, on the other hand, is much more reserved and private. On camera, this can look like a mismatch. Fans have even questioned whether Chris is fully committed to Amy. Early in their relationship, some viewers saw him as a rebound for Amy after her divorce from Matt. And that perception has lingered for some. But Chris has consistently proven those doubts wrong. As his friend Rick shared, Chris is in it for the long haul. Friends have described their relationship as easy and natural. Chris himself said his proposal didn't come from some dramatic moment but rather an easy, natural progression that worked out well. Remember, Chris was never married before Amy. He didn't have kids of his own. At the age of 63, he chose to step into a complex family dynamic with a reality TV star. That takes serious commitment. He's not a man who's going to throw that away on a whim. Let's also talk about Chris's real life away from the cameras. Because one of the rumors we're debunking today is that he permanently left America. And that claim doesn't hold up when you look at his professional life. Chris is a successful real estate agent in Oregon. And we have the numbers to prove it. In the last 12 months alone, he has closed 6 sales with an average price of $446,000 and a range from $230,000 to $720,000. Over his career, he's completed an impressive 189 total sales. He has 27 years of experience in the real estate business and specializes as both a buyer's and a seller's agent. His clients consistently praise his professionalism and efficiency. One recent review from August 2025 describes him as fantastic to work with, very knowledgeable, and absolutely on top of everything. Another client from 2024 called him amazing in every way. Now, here's the thing. You don't build a real estate career like that in Oregon if you're planning to permanently leave the country. This is where Chris's professional life is. This is where his income comes from. This is where his clients are. The idea that he would just pick up and abandon all of that is simply not realistic. One of the things we love about Amy is her willingness to defend the people she loves. And she's been a staunch defender of Chris, even when fans have been critical. When fans speculated that Chris was checked out or not invested, Amy didn't stay silent. She made it clear that this relationship is different from what she had with Matt. With Matt, she once said, they often had separate friends and separate lives. But with Chris, she's building an integrated life. He's part of her world and she's part of his. Amy has also spoken about how Chris proposed to her in 2019. She said, "I never in a million years thought I'd be getting married again, but I also hoped for it. Now that it's happening, I couldn't be happier or more excited." Think about that emotion. She was someone who had been through a devastating divorce and had truly given up on love. And then Chris came along and changed everything. Chris was equally emotional about the proposal. He admitted he was very nervous and made sure to choose a ring that would be perfect for Amy, a heart-shaped diamond, because he knew that's what she wanted. That's attention to detail. That's love. It's not the behavior of someone who is about to run off with a new girlfriend. Another important factor in this relationship is how Chris has integrated into Amy's family. And from all accounts, he's done a wonderful job. Amy's children and grandchildren are incredibly important to her. She's a devoted mother and grandmother. And Chris has embraced this role completely. He travels with Amy to visit the grandkids and makes an effort to be present in their lives. Family photos often include him. One particularly heartwarming moment was a family reunion that Amy and Chris hosted. They brought together the entire extended Roloff family, including all of Amy's children, for a special celebration. Given the complicated history between the siblings and especially the tensions between Zach and Matt, this was no small achievement. But Amy and Chris made it happen. And fans loved seeing the family together. This isn't just about Amy's happiness. It's about Chris making an effort to build relationships with the people Amy loves most. That's the mark of a committed partner. So, where does that leave us? What does the future hold for Amy Roloff and Chris Marek? Based on everything we've seen, the future looks bright. They continue to appear on Little People, Big World, suggesting they are open to sharing their lives with fans. Their social media is filled with happy moments, from motorcycle rides to camping trips. They're traveling together, enjoying their hobbies, and building a life that feels genuine and joyful. The production has clearly seen value in their dynamic. In season 25, we saw Amy, Chris, Matt, and Karen all working together to pull off a charity event at Roloff Farms. Yes, there was chaos. The episode was literally called Where's Amy because she and Chris went missing at one point. But they came back. They are still part of the show, and fans remain invested in their story. As for the rumors of divorce, a new girlfriend, and Chris leaving the country, these claims are simply not supported by the evidence. In fact, Amy herself has provided the most convincing proof. Her anniversary post, her social media updates, the photos with Matt and the grandchildren, it's all right there for anyone to see. Before we wrap up, let's be clear about one thing. We're not saying Amy and Chris never face challenges. All couples do. Being in the public eye adds an immense amount of pressure. There are family dynamics to navigate, financial decisions to make, and a public that scrutinizes every move. But the key here is that they appear to be handling these challenges together. Chris is not running away. There is no new girlfriend. And the divorce rumors are just that, rumors, without any credible evidence to back them up. In a world where reality TV relationships often crumble under the pressure, Amy and Chris seem to be proving that true love can survive. It's not always flashy or dramatic. Sometimes it's just two people, a motorcycle, and a long ride through the Oregon countryside.